How you doing? How you doing? This is episode 3 of the Bayou Boys Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Williams,
Brent Fowler.
and we are blessed and highly favored just to um, supporting us through our podcast. We've been doing this for the last month or so, and let's get to it, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Took a little week break, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
for Fresno game. I mean, if we want to be honest, bro, it wasn't too much to touch on, bro. Everybody knew what it was for real. It's definitely some new topics that have arisen. I think that's where I want to start at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you want to go back to last week, obviously, lost to Fresno 56-7. Can't take away too much from it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Power 5 school in a big conference going traveling out to California, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Nice West Coast trip. Went, got your money, came back home, stayed safe, and you know what I'm saying, no injuries. So that's the big thing right there. No
Yep.
major
Thank
injuries.
God for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you looking I don't want to look forward, not quite yet. I just want to, and I told you this before, bro. I just kind of want to analyze where we're at on the season. So I have the stats pulled up for
Mm-hmm.
Southern. We are currently 1-3, not off to a great start, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely turning around. Big thing, we're 0-0 in SWAC play. So the game against Alabama State didn't count against our SWAC record. So still okay. SWAC play starts next week against Jackson State at home. So hopefully we can just turn it around, you know what I'm saying? Figure everything out and just be able to catch our flow. Cause I think we just haven't been able to catch our flow, our cohesion, our chemistry yet. And I think that what better time to do it in the Boombox Classic against Jackson.
Oh yeah, man. Because a lot of times, man, even throughout like the Alabama State game, there was no cohesion,
No.
and sometimes you would think because there's not a quarterback, because we've been having quarterback problems like for the past couple of years, even
Hmm.
this year, and it's kind of like you have to have that quarterback that can not only be cohesive with everybody else, but you have to have that firepower, you
Yeah.
know. And it's kind of like you look at Jalen. We look at last year, he was productive, you know,
Yeah.
and we won the West title because of him and the defense. So it's kind of like now we're looking at, okay, who's going to be the next man up versus Jackson State? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
who who is that person who's going to be cohesive with everybody,
Yeah.
but allow them to have that opportunity to
Yeah.
flourish. You
Man,
know.
it's and like you said, bro, it's tough because Jalen coming up. Obviously, we went through our quarterback carousel last year with Noah Biden, Chazavian Toussaint, and then ultimately landing on Jalen Woods, and he was
Yep.
able to produce in last couple of games of the year. He was able to turn it around, and then unfortunately, he suffered the concussion in the classic, so he didn't get to finish out his year. And then this year, he comes out didn't look great the first game. You know what I'm saying? He definitely didn't look great, but things were turning around against Valley. He was having a good game, then boom, another concussion. So it's unfortunate he hasn't been able to. If we talking about people not being able to catch their rhythm, he's
Mm-hmm.
definitely in the forefront of that, and not necessarily because of his talent, because I think he's very talented as a redshirt sophomore. I think it's more so because of the fact that just injuries have kind of riddled him. But if we go and look at if we want to talk about cohesion and who's going to get us right for the upcoming week against Jackson, and obviously, following that, going against
Mm-hmm.
Platoon, you know what I'm saying? And after that, going against Prairie View, it's just like I think if there's one good thing that you could say happened on the Fresno trip is that Kelby came back and he played really good. He had a strip sack. He had
A sack too.
yeah, he had a sack, strip sack, TFL, and he was all over the place against
Yeah.
Fresno, and that's really good competition. So he was back. The defense, I think one thing that you can take away if we're looking at the recap is the defense has gotten progressively better every week. They've given up less and less rushing yards. They still need to fine tune it and tighten it up. But it's getting better. It's trending in the right direction. And like I said, I hope home game against Jackson, you would be able to contain their explosive players. But touching on the quarterback situation, I think finally you might have found your guy with Ashton Strother. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Ashton Strother, my bad. So yeah,
Yes.
he's number 15. You know what I'm saying? JUCO transfer, Kentucky State boy. Came in, and I think that it was his understanding that he was going to be the third quarterback. So third or fourth, because remember we had Jamari Jones, but
Yeah.
ended up
Family issues.
family issues. So
Yeah.
he wasn't, Ashton probably came in and wasn't expecting a lot of PT, but what, 4 games through the year, Jay Woods goes down, Jamar leaves, Cam is not producing like
Playing
how
well.
he
Yeah.
do. So hey man, it's, what I'm saying, it's your time. And I think that he did I think he did a pretty good job against
He did.
Fresno. He managed the offense well, and everything looked more fluid, and was able to get the ball to his playmakers, and Demo, and what I'm saying, Dupree, and just be able, obviously feed your carries to Mike and to Trey and to Jason, and what I'm saying, and to Barry too. So it's just like, I think he's probably, until Jay Woods comes back, I think he's probably gonna be the option right now.
Oh yeah, because they have to. I'm gonna say this, man. When Ashton came into the game, man, at first, I kid you not, bro. I'm thinking, wait, is that Noah? I was like,
Noah came back, number 15.
I was like, welcome back, Noah. Welcome back.
Nah, Noah over there killing that Edward Waters right now, bro.
Yeah. But
Shout out to
anyways,
my boy Noah, man.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But anyways, during that game, man, the ball was moving, bro. Now I was just like, we're moving this on this FBS team, moving the ball. I'm like, we had a couple good drives, but then there were some drops too, you know. And it's kind of like
they didn't do him any favors with the drops, bro, and that's been a consistent thing all year, all 4 games. Because I remember, I was at the Alabama State game. It was towards the end of the game. We had already sealed our fate, but there was one ball, and specifically on like a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. And it was Cam. He was having a bad game. He had turned the ball over 4 times or whatever. But I remember it was not Dupree, but man, help me out. Who's the other tight end?
Jermaine.
Jermaine comes across the middle, and he had a drag route, and the weak side linebacker, drops on him, and he wasn't there, so he was wide open. Corner comes down, but the corner was going to take a while to come to him. So Jermaine has the ball, he catches it, and then for some reason, I think he was trying to like brace for impact or like tuck it, so he puts it behind his back and drops it, and it looked like he was dribbling a basketball. And that just like perfectly summarized and encapsulated the game and drops, because as much as you want to get on Cam for not really just catching his stride and being able to do what he needs to do coming in, his receivers and his tight ends are not giving him any help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And really, it's everybody. It's Darren. It's what I'm saying. It's Jermaine. It's Dupree. What I'm saying. It's everybody. It's Malachi. All of them. You know what I'm saying. They all fall to it, and they all should take a part of the blame. And I think just you just got to work on that. You know what I'm saying. It's fundamental. So.
Oh yeah, because it's like, man, I have to think about this. Players like Dupree, Jermaine, Demo, all those players, y'all are too talented.
Oh yeah.
To not catch the ball. Because I was just like looking at players like Dupree. He had about 5-6 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
So even during our crazy football situation, so it's just kind of like a lot of times we gotta, as a team, gotta hold each other accountable and be like, okay, I did my job, you do your job. So it's just how to,
And that's what I say about, what I'm saying, just the cohesion and everybody coming together. Because like you said, man, if everybody does their job, you leave the results up to God. You know what I'm saying? It's really that simple. And I've heard, I'm paraphrasing, but I've heard Coach Graves say that in press conferences before. If all three phases of the game do their job and they do it well, there's no reason why the outcome shouldn't be a win. So when you talk about the receivers and the tight ends and the talent that they possess, just they're dynamic playmakers. You know what I'm saying? Darren Morris can take it to the house like that. You know what I'm saying? Dupree Fuller can get across the middle like that. You know what I'm saying? Even Jermaine is he's fast, big body guy. You know what I'm saying? Malachi, a real speedster. You know what I'm saying? So if they help the defense out like how they need to, because the defense, like I said, it's been coming along every week. Obviously, you know, you had that nasty game against NCCU, gave up crazy rushing yards, and then Valley, you did better, but it's Valley, so it's like it's only so much that you could take away from that. And then after that, going against who was after that? It was Alabama State. Alabama State after that, and it's just like, you know, defense held it down the first half. You know what I'm saying? Only allowed 6 points, and then, you know, second half fell apart. And part of that was because they could never stay off the field because Cam kept turning the ball over and over and over. So yeah. And then with Fresno, it's just, you know, it's hard to decipher with
it's Fresno.
But
yeah, because a lot of times, man, the coaches, you got to really think about this, man. This is what Graves did last year, bro. When the quarterbacks was doing terribly, he took them out.
Mm-hmm.
He took them out, and it's kind of like this year that is so different because I'm just like, I'll even put the kid in at quarterback, the true freshman.
Yeah, so from Bunkie.
So yeah, so it's kind of like you got to find out who works the best in your system and gives you the best opportunity to win.
Because I don't think that they want to, not to cut you off, bro, but I don't think, talking about the quarterback from Bunkie, I don't think that they want to burn his red shirt, though. I think he'll be the one guy that they do sit. I think that whenever Woods come back, it'll be between Jalen, it'll be between Ashton, and it'll be between Cam. Because I really don't think, from what I understand, I don't think that because they see like real potential in him. So I don't think that they're gonna want to burn his red shirt coming out to play this year. And, you know, like putting him out there when I don't think that he'd be ready to go out and play in the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? Not yet, at least. So, but go ahead, bro.
But even with, I'm just saying, but during the game, like, you know, you see your quarterback struggling. You have two quarterbacks that did pretty good in community college, right? With the Kentucky State. So you have that. You have a quarterback that you haven't really tried yet, and I'm just like, I felt like if they would have taken Cam out in that game around the second quarter or somewhere and put in Ashton, the offense would have been moving the ball.
The offense would have been moving the ball, and I think it would have taken a lot of pressure off the defense because even if you came out, not even the second quarter, if you'd have came out at halftime and said, okay, we need to make a switch. So we're going to talk about that too with Coach Frederick being out and Coach McNair being in, and we'll get to that. But I think with Coach Frederick, his thing and the reason why he's not the current play caller is he'll change the quarterbacks, but his change isn't always good change. You know what I'm saying? It's not always good change because even you look back last year, it's just you're playing roulette with quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? You're not instilling confidence into anyone. So you start with Noah. He's not producing, much like Cam right now. You flip to Zay T said he played pretty well. His thing was more so injuries and indecisiveness. You know what I'm saying? But you can work on that. You know, he was a redshirt freshman. You know what I'm saying? He was a redshirt freshman. I think that they just had to go through the growing pains with him, and they had to stick it out with him. And I think the fact that they just quickly was like, yeah, nah. Zay would turn the ball over one time and they say, yeah, nah, we're going back to Noah. We're going to Woods. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I think that's a part of the reason why he left too and went to Graham, just because just constant carouseling with the quarterbacks and not instilling any confidence. Now, at the same time, I will say this. They kind of stumbled into something because if Noah and Zay don't get benched, Jay Woods never gets his chance and never proves to you that he could be your long-term guy. He could be a long-term starter. So now, flipping back to this year, you got Jalen, you got Cam, You got Ashton, who you didn't even think was going to really get any burn. You had Jamari, but obviously he left. So it's just like you don't expect to have to do that this year. Like obviously, they tried like at the beginning of the year, they tried to make it sound like there was going to be a quarterback competition. When in reality, if Woods would have made the bus, he would have been the starter. We all know that. So it's just like he didn't make the bus, and what I'm saying, Cam gets to start. So I think really and truly, now I'm thinking about it, that kind of is where things went all wrong. Honestly, that's because it just threw everything off from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? You were never able to like get any like progression or what I'm saying, any cohesion and stuff like that because your team was missing their rightful starting quarterback. But yeah, I don't know, bro. I think Cam's cool, bro. Like I think that it's just he's not equipped for that. Just like we talk about with Noah. Noah was not a D1 quarterback. He's thriving, balling right now. D2 at Edward Waters. They just beat Miles College last week. You know what I'm saying? They're I think they're 3-0 now. They're you know what I'm saying? He's winning like national player of the weeks for D2 ball and stuff like that. D2 HBCU ball. So, you know what I'm saying? But just D1 ball just isn't for everybody. And I'm not saying that about him. I think more so, I know we were talking about this earlier. Hell of a pitcher. You know what I'm saying? Hell of a pitcher. I know, look, I haven't seen him pitch, but I've heard that he throws gas. Like he has a rocket for arms. So, maybe he just sticks with that and leaves the quarterback into Woods into Ashton. So
because I mean, I'm glad you said that, man. Because a lot of times, what Frederick didn't understand is you got to use what best fits your quarterback, right? You go back to the Saints, right? Drew Brees, he was on the tail end of his career. They put in Taysom Hill, right? You gotta, if this man is an athlete, I'm using you every which way. Not on the line because Cam's not that big, but you put him in the slot. You put him in read option runs. You put him in that position. Maybe some short passes.
Yeah.
But you implement him in the offense in a way where it's like, oh, we got a gadget.
Yeah.
We got a gadget guy. That's what Southern needs to do with Cam. Yeah. Make him a gadget guy. That's genius.
Yeah, nah, it would definitely be genius, bro. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, quarterback power, quarterback draw. You know what I'm saying? Read option, like you said, him and Trey on the read option, bro. Are you kidding me? I don't even know why they haven't been running that like just normal. You know what I'm saying? But especially if he comes in for a player 2, and you know what I'm saying, he subs out Jay Woods for a player 2, and then where you could get him at is they're expecting. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, Cam's coming in, it's about to be a run play. Boom, you fake a play action. Throw a deep ball to Demo or to Malachi or to, you know what I'm saying, get one up the seam to Jermaine or so. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how he should be used, not as a starting caliber quarterback. Because even at Eastern Michigan, even at Jackson,
they told him to change.
He never was their starter though. That's what I'm saying. And there's a reason why that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
He just should have been, bro. I'm telling you, if you put Cam at slot receiver or whatever, receiver, quarterback for some plays, 3rd down, short passes, that's fine. You can really make an impact in that because we're building an offense, we're building an offense around you, but like you can be a big part of the offense. Like you got to make I feel like in my head, if I was coach, it's a common sense thing. If you see him struggling at the quarterback position, and that's not really his strong suit, you try him out at receiver. You try to put him at read option.
Yeah.
Do some option plays.
Something. You know what I'm saying? Something else. Because insanity is repeating the same thing over and over in expecting a different outcome. Like what you're doing right now or what they were doing under Coach Frederick's regime was borderline insane. You know what I'm saying?
It was.
Like, expecting Cam to go out there and be like, oh yeah, last week wasn't his week. Bro, when is it gonna be his week? You know what I'm saying, bro? It's not. You gotta use your player personnel and put them in the right spot. So I think we've talked about it for a while now, but just alluding to what happened a couple of weeks ago at the press conference, Coach Gray.
Mhm.
Well, I think it was last week actually, before the Fresno game.
Mhm.
Last Tuesday at the press conference, at the introductory part of the press conference, Coach Graves was asked about the situation with the play calling and how he was gonna change some things around to lead to better results after coming off the loss against Alabama State. And a
Mhm.
couple of things that he said is, one, he was naming co-offense coordinators now instead of just Coach Frederick being the
Mhm.
offense coordinator. Now it's Coach Frederick and Coach Fred McNair. And on top of that, Coach Fred McNair is now the head play caller. He's calling the plays now, which is a change of pace from Coach Frederick. So when I heard that initially, I thought in my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that. Just it's something different, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just so happens that lo and behold, what, two drives into Fresno State, Cam gets yanked and Ashton gets put in, and Ashton is able to, you know what I'm saying, execute the plays that Coach McNair called, and he was able to process and read. And I think that's part of it too. Like asking Cam to process and read a defense for a extended amount of time just isn't a good idea. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good idea for anything involved, for anyone involved, because you saw against Alabama State, they asked him to really read and process all of that. And what happened? Turnover after turnover after
Yep.
turnover after turn. And I don't think it's necessarily because of his skill level. I think he was so overwhelmed that he's thinking about so many things that the one thing that you have to think about the most, ball security, it just kind of slipped in his mind because he just had to process so many different things. Whereas obviously, you know, Jalen can do it. Ashton, we're gonna see it next week if he's gonna be capable of doing it on a full-time basis. But I think just from what I know so far, I think Ashton will be capable of doing it. And that's another thing that I'm saying about the freshman quarterback from Bunkie. I think that you put him out there physically, he's not ready. And I don't even know if he'll be ready mentally to, you know what I'm saying, go through his progressions and, you know what I'm saying, be able to step up in the pocket and make plays and, you know what I'm saying, throw off balance. Like, I don't think that those things would translate quite yet. But I think give him a red shirt and then, you know, sit him maybe next year or whenever you feel like putting him in, you know, he'll be ready. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's in because you got to be honest, man. He's in the high school mindset, and then that's
I'm,
a
I don't mean to cut you off, but he has a name, by the way. His name is Dylan Compton, by the way.
Dylan
So,
Compton.
yeah, he has a name. I just it came to my memory. Yeah, Dylan Compton. Number he wore number 3 in high school. I don't know what he wears at Southern now, but I know he
I
wore
don't
number
know.
3.
But
He's really good though. Go ahead.
but a lot of times, like when you are, I'm sorry, that's my dog in the back.
No, you good.
But a lot of times when you are transitioning to high school to college, especially D1, it's a process. You got to really um not just earn your way, but you got to learn the system of the Southern offense. You got to read your plays. You got to work with the practice squad. The coach is not just going to put you out there without without you going over the plays and things that you need to do.
Right, right. And you know, like I said, I just don't think that it would be wise for him to be thrown out there just for, you know what I'm saying, just for a couple reasons. You don't want to burn your red shirt, you know what I'm saying? Years, you know, calling it year zero. That's what they call it whenever you red shirt. So
Yep. Got to
but
put this degree up here.
yeah.
Trying to see where to put my degree at.
Yeah,
But
but oh, now go ahead.
but yeah, man, you don't want to just put them out there and then be like, oh, you're going against Jackson State, big bag Jackson State, who has FBS players lined up to play. You gotta prepare a young man for that before they come into this. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man. But we're
I
moving
think that
on.
we should I think we can flip over. We talked a lot about offense. Let's talk about the defense, bro.
Yep.
Talk about the defense a little bit. I think we touched on a little bit with Kelby having a big game, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But I think that, and another thing that coach said that he said at the press conference last Tuesday was he was talking about some personnel changes were coming on defense as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a couple of guys up front, you know what I'm saying, a couple of guys in the secondary that you might have thought been able to contribute and give you a little something haven't really been up to par, haven't been able to stop the run particularly. And I think that, you know what I'm saying, making the proper personnel changes is what Coach Graves thought was going to lead to a somewhat competitive result against Fresno, but really looking forward even further than that, you know what I'm saying, even further in the future to Jackson, to Bethune, to Alcorn, to Prairie View, you know what I'm saying, those schools. So I don't know specifically what the personnel changes are going to be on the defensive side. I have an idea of what a couple of them could be, and they probably have to do with the secondary. I think obviously you have your solidified safety tandem with you know what I'm saying, with Horatio and with Herman Brister. So I think maybe not those two as much, but maybe the corners, because the corners have been just such a rough spot for the Jaguars this year. They haven't been able to stick, bro. They have not been able to stick at all, and just haven't found their groove. You know what I'm saying? The first game they played so far off against NCCU that they were
Mhm.
just hitting them for little slants and bubbles and screens and, you know what I'm saying, hitches and just, all those little short dink and dunk routes. Then you go up against Valley. They gave you a couple of deep balls, if I remember correctly, if my memory serves me right. Then against Alabama State, you finally have a good game, and it's just the offense failed you. You know what I'm saying? So that one isn't as much to blame on them, but just the secondary in general with the corners. I know Eli West, he's probably gonna stay out there as a starter, but I don't know who will probably be opposite of him now. I don't know if they plan on bringing in anybody else to be opposite of him, because I know he can go. He's a
Mhm.
former FBS guy. He can hold his own on one side, but I think you just got to find somebody who will be able to lock down opposite of him. And then obviously you look at the front line, you still got a big J Rod, you know what I'm saying? Big J Rogers up there, kind of
Mhm.
in the Willie Miles replacement, like we talked about, coming
Number
off the edge.
67.
Yeah, 6'7", you know what I'm saying? Coming off the edge, you got Kelby, obviously all world, all swag, you know what I'm saying? He's actually, I saw something today. He was the first player selected to the HBCU Legacy
Yep.
Bowl. So
Yep.
look, congratulations to him
Congratulations,
for
man.
doing that, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? First play. That's a big deal, you know what I'm
It
saying?
is, man. It is, man. With Kelby, knowing him for about 4 years, man. One thing, he's a man of God first,
Mhm.
but you have that leadership mentality, man. He was about to go in the transfer portal, but he changed his mind. He said, "I'm coming back for my final season." So he had FBS opportunities, man. Big time FBS schools. So um, I think if we can really turn this around for him, man, and not only just make some noise, but get ahead in the West, because we are fourth in the West right now.
Yeah.
So we can turn something around once Jackson comes and just give him a game. I don't care if the game is 9-3, and we
Mhm.
win that game.
Huge.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
think
upset.
yeah, and the thing with Kelby, bro, he's a good dude, you know what I'm saying? I met him in the spring for the first time, really chopped it up with him. And you know what I'm saying, great guy, like you said, God fearing guy. Definitely he deserves it. You know what I'm saying? He
Oh
definitely
yeah.
deserves that opportunity. And I think he deserves the opportunity to transfer up to the FBS level and be able to, improve his draft stock. Because I think, he could be a day 3 pick now. You know what I'm saying? He definitely could be a day 3 pick, and if not, definitely could be an undrafted free agent in the NFL. Now I don't know if as an FBS team, I know the concerns are he's a little bit too small to be playing off the edge with his frame that he has now. I don't know if he'll be able to get away with that, or if he'll have to drop back to be a linebacker there. And I think one thing he'll probably have to look at and see is whatever school is going to let him play the position that he feels is most comfortable to him. But going back to just the defense as a whole, obviously we said Jay Rogers,
Mhm.
obviously we said Kelby Givens, and then on that 4-man front, you got somebody who really surprised me and how productive they are is Zach Yassine. He's been one of the few bright spots on the defense. Him and Kelby, bro. They, you know what I'm saying? He's holding it down in the middle, especially for being you know what I'm saying, not necessarily undersized, but there's a lot of old linemen that are, you know what I'm saying, a little bit bigger, but he works, you know what I'm saying? He works and he stops that run, and his pursuit is really good. And I think that he's somebody that he's been pretty good, you know what I'm saying? And then obviously I think if there was any other change that they might make, then, and this is just me speculating, I think maybe my boy Jerome, which it hurts because it's my boy Jerome
Mhm.
Wallace, Big Rome, you know what I'm saying? I think that I don't know. I think that his production, this is his first time really out there getting like serious snaps. You know, I know he played a little bit last year and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but he never really got any starting role. And obviously, you know, with a couple people graduating, a couple people transferring,
Mhm.
he's getting a start this year, but I just don't know if the level of production has matched up to what his expectation was going into the season.
Mhm.
So, with that being the case, I don't know if he's one of the guys that whenever Coach Graves alluded to making some personnel changes, I don't know if he was one of the guys that he was talking about, or if he just meant, you know, another position. You know what I'm saying? But I think regardless, I think he should just, you know, keep working, keep getting at it. And one thing about it, Chris, is so early in the season, bro. It's 1-3, but no, we haven't played a swag game yet, technically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that, you know, that's what we play for. Obviously, we play to, obviously, you know, the big games that you would like to win is obviously Jackson, which is coming up. You obviously have to win the Bayou.
Alcorn too.
Huh?
Alcorn.
Alcorn, yeah, Alcorn too. But I'm just thinking about like the big three of games that you really like want to look at and win. It's definitely Jackson, it's Bayou Classic, and if you can finally win that SWAC championship game, that's been you know, been eluding you. And you know what I'm saying, the bonus game. You started in Atlanta. Can you end in Atlanta? Can
Yeah.
you make it to that celebration bowl? So it's you know, we'll see. It's definitely early in the season, so I think that they'll be able to come back. You know what I'm saying?
And then you also got to think about this, man. The other team that we went to 5 overtimes with to
But
win.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's kind of like we got to think about Bethune because Bethune, right?
they're scrappy, bro.
They are
They'll play a
scrappy.
good game.
Like the game was, I forgot who they were playing. I think it was maybe Tennessee State or somewhere.
Hmm.
And the score was 51-41. So because they had a personnel change at quarterback, that's when they put points on the board. So we got to beat Bethune Cookman too in
Yeah,
Florida.
yeah. I think you definitely just got to take it. Which I'm pretty sure that they kept going back and forth. Like Bethune wanted to play it at their stadium, and then they wanted to play it at Tampa Bay Stadium or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. One of those Florida stadium, and then
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even like in Jacksonville. I'd have to pull it up, but they kept going back and forth. But regardless, I think they got it settled now, and they're just going to play at Bethune Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, funny story about Bethune last year, bro. I was actually there taking pictures, doing photography at that game, and that was the same day. It was a 2:30 kickoff. I remember that it was an afternoon game. It was the same day as the LSU Alabama game, and I thought that I was gonna have
Mm-hmm.
plenty of time to
Mm-hmm.
go home, wash up, you know what I'm saying, decompress, relax, get ready for this LSU Bama game. It's gonna be lit. It's at Tiger Stadium, man. These people that took me to 5 overtimes, bruh. I was hot, bro. I'll say this. I'm glad that we won, but I was so heated. And then I had to stay for the post game press conference. And you know, Coach Graves almost sounded borderline disgusted that it took that long to put him off. And I remember there was a specific play in the third overtime that they had that it was a 2 point conversion because you know once you get past the second overtime in college football, it's just 2 point play. So they had a chance in the third overtime. They had stopped Bethune. All they had to do was catch one pass from the 3 yard line. Doggone, I don't know if it was one of the tight ends for sure. I don't know if it was Dupree or if it was Jermaine, but I know for sure it was one of them. It was a rollout play, and they had like a little speed out, and they man dropped that sucker right on his hands, bro. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, bro. We can't go home yet, bro. I'm just trying to leave, bro. We were supposed to been won this game in
Mm-hmm.
regulation. because we was actually down to them last year. We were down.
Yep.
Wait, I don't even know if I mentioned that we were down to them by
We're
double
down.
digits, and that was one of those games that Woods came out and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I think Noah started the game. He played bad for the first couple of series, and then Woods came in because I remember Zay was hurt around that time. He was injured with his like shoulder or something like that, or something like with his, I don't know. He was injured, so he was out. So it was between Noah and Jalen. So Jalen came in. Jalen played a great game. He came in and really kind of showed to the coaches like he could be the guy. And then the cherry on top is him finishing it off and winning the game. You know what I'm saying? But I say all that to say Bethune is definitely somebody that you don't want to look over. But I think you just have to have that mentality of just going 1-0 every week. Just like how LSU and Brian Kelly got it over there right now. 1-0 every week. They cover up. I don't know if you've seen, they cover up the schedule to where you can only see one game at a time. So if they played Clemson first, you could only see Clemson. And then after that, whoever they play second, you know what I'm saying? They Louisiana Tech, only see that. Then third, Florida. Now Southeastern this weekend. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's been working for them. So I'm saying just you
Yeah.
gotta think about it like that. You gotta go 1-0 every single week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So this is a change. You know, all those other games we're not gonna even think about those games, bro.
Yeah.
This is we're gonna say this is a new season, right? So this is SWAC play. So
Yeah.
it's like either way, if we can stop Jonas Fertillian, the wide receiver, or Jacoby and Morgan, who we stopped a lot during the SWAC championship game,
Yeah.
and if we can close in their run game and we can tackle them uh, in the open field and
Right.
actually um, do that, we have a chance, bro.
Right.
We have a
Hey,
chance.
but Jacobian, bro, I know we stopped him last year in the SWAC championship game, but he's dangerous, bro. I've seen Jacobian Morgan. I've definitely heard that name. I've definitely heard of the things that he's done. But I think, man, I
Jacoby,
think it, huh? Yeah, bro. As long as you just go out there and do your job, bro. Like I said, you do your job on all three phases. And something that we haven't touched on is, and this was the last point that I made from the press conference that I watched on last Tuesday. Coach Graves said in terms of special teams, he's going to be back in charge of calling the plays because if you remember last year, there he had a similar press conference where he took over play calling from the special teams coach, and you know what I'm saying. And I think that he got his start. He doesn't call offense. He doesn't call defense. He calls special teams. You know what I'm saying. So he kind of just oversees everything to that point too. But he's going to be taking over the special teams play calling duties and overseeing that now. So hopefully, because special teams has not been, it's been
it
very,
hasn't been good, bro.
it has not been good. The man out of the freshman, true freshman, I'm pretty sure out of Central, Nathan Zimmer, he has not been as advertised to start. And I know last year he won a state championship with
What
Central.
state?
Yeah, he
Yes.
won state. So
Central.
I don't know what his workload looked like at Central because I would assume that they didn't have to kick a lot of field goals and they probably scored a lot of touchdowns. But I know he has a big leg. Like I've heard and I've seen. It's just the accuracy just has to get it in between the uprights. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, I don't know what it is, bro. And this is not just a him thing. This happened to him. This happened to Josh. This happened to the kicker before Josh. For some reason, Southern is so bad at covering up, like blocking for the field goals. Like they always get their field goals blocked. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's because the kickers not getting enough arc on the ball. I don't know if it's because they're not using the correct technique to block for the kicker and the holder, but they always, at least once a game, they get their kicks blocked, their field goals blocked. And it's just like, dude, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? You're leaving points on the board. You're not able to capitalize on being in red zone and in scoring threat position and stuff like that. So, but yeah, but then also you want to think about the punting game with Kenny Pham, bro. You want to talk about, he definitely has his moments. He definitely has those times where he'll give you a good punt. He'll pin them inside the 20, inside the 10, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
there's also been some bad ones. There was one against NCCU, I think, what was it, like a 7-yard punt?
about 28 yards or
No, it was bro, Chris.
a
It
little
was way
lower than that.
more than that, bro. It was like a 7. I remember that because NCCU scored a touchdown on that, and you just got to look at that stuff, and you're like, dude, special teams plays a huge, huge integral part of the game.
Yep.
There's a reason why there's 3 phases to the game, not just two. It's 3. You can really, and I would argue to say, if you could really specialize in special teams and really use that, that's like almost like a secret weapon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you could steal possessions on that. You know what I'm saying? You're a punter, you're flipping the field, you're making the other team drive the whole length of the field, or you know what I'm saying, with the field goal kicking, you're able to steal 3 points whenever you probably, you know what I'm saying, you wanted a touchdown, but you settle for 3, you're getting 3 instead of 0. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So it's just, I think that you just got to be better in that aspect. I think the return game has been fine. It's been, it's been cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bad, nothing good, nothing bad with it.
Mm-hmm.
Punt returns, kick returns. I haven't seen any muffs, so hopefully that continues. We haven't had any muff punts or any muff kicks, so returners are fielding it cleanly, getting out as far as they can, and you know what I'm saying, setting up shop for the offense. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I think that was just the last thing that Coach Graves had pointed out in the press conference.
Yeah, because the thing about Kenny Pham is, man, you need. I feel like as a coach, the special team should know what they're doing. We should even the announcer, the people around us should even have to talk to special teams at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's kind of like as a punter, I don't care if you're a first string punter, you need some competition. You need
Yeah,
some competition because competition will make you better.
that's true.
It will take something out of you, man, that you can show to these people. So it's kind of like when you have that competition, man, there's like there's no excuse of why you have bad punts. Yeah, you have bad punts at times,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a consistent basis.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a consistent thing with Kenny. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I said it's very streaky. It's very, very inconsistent.
You gotta practice like you practice running. Well, no, not running. Like you practice doing a math problem. You gotta practice punting.
Yeah, bro. And the crazy part is, like, you could argue kickers and punters, bro. That's all you do at practice. So
Yeah.
it's like, why? Like,
Yeah.
why? You should be if we got periods, so practices are broken down into periods. So if you have a special teams period where you have the whole special teams lineup and you're doing what I'm saying, doing a kick, because usually you'll work on one special teams group a day. So maybe on Monday you do field goal, and then
Mhm.
Tuesday you do punt, and then Wednesday you do kick return, and then
Mhm.
Thursday you do punt return. Like,
Mhm.
and then Friday, everything is just a walkthrough on
Mhm.
Friday. So it's just like, bro, if you are at practice for 2, if not 3 hours, what are you doing? Like, I'm not saying them specifically, but it never made sense to me why punters and kickers were not just like really, really good. Because it's just like, bro,
You're kicking.
huh?
You're kicking the ball.
You're kicking the ball. And I'm not saying, like, that's a tough job. I don't know if you
It
ever
is.
tried kicking, Chris.
I
It's
have.
tough. It's tough. It's not as easy as advertised, bro. But it's
It's
definitely
not.
like it's still kicking and punting, bro. Like, you still have to you still have to do your job. Everybody has a
Yep.
job on the team. Everybody has something that they have to do, have to account for, and that's one of the easier jobs on the team, no matter how you want to shape it. So I think with Nathan, I think he'll get it together. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll come into his own. Obviously, nerves play a part into it. He's a freshman. This is D1 football. You know what I'm saying? So have to remember that. And then with Kenny's a little different because it's like, all right, Kenny, you've been here for a couple of years. Like, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know a little bit better than that. You need to produce and do your job well. You know what I'm saying? So
So yeah. That's right, man. That's right. But man, we're previewing, man. Next week Jackson State versus Southern, man. The Boombox Classic. Was
Almost.
there any? What's the special memory of just going? Like it can be like when you were a kid, man, or like last year. Like what was the best experience?
Boombox Classic is not that one to me, and I'm younger, obviously, I'm 19, but
Yeah.
that one is kind of harder for me to kind of decipher a specific memory for a couple of different reasons. One, because we never win it, first of all. So it's kind of hard to decipher like a really good memory with that. And two, I was always a Bayou Classic guy more so than a Boombox Classic guy. Like I've been to the Classic with my family a couple of
Mhm.
times. I've been to both actually. I've been to Jackson, I've been to Graham, you know what I'm saying? I've been to both, but I think if I had to pick, I don't even know, bro. I don't even have a specific memory because if I'm really thinking about it, like my memories of the Boombox Classic don't even necessarily go along with football. It's more so like the bands, really. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the two best bands in not only the SWAC, but I believe they're the two best bands in college football, period. You know what I'm saying? Jackson is, Sonic Boom is phenomenal. Southern, obviously phenomenal. Elite, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Taylor getting them right as always, you know what I'm saying? And obviously Jackson's band director getting them right as well. So if I actually had to pick one moment, bro, it wouldn't be a specific moment more so than just hearing the bands play and battle against each other, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I'll say like a memory, man. Um, it was last year, like going with my dad and his fraternity brother.
Hmm.
And just the drive, man, just cause I always wanted to go like when I was a kid, bro. But I was too young. And then my
Hmm.
dad went. But like, man, just having that just experience those moments with your parents, your family, man, it's a big difference. And when I got to the stadium, man, just I don't know, just seeing all of our people, bro, just enjoying, talking smack, oh,
Hmm.
we gonna win, oh, they gonna win. And then we see the jukebox, we see the boom, and it was like, man, it was nothing like it, bro.
Yeah,
Like it was just like an early Christmas present, bro. Like if that was the only Christmas present I got, I was like, oh, okay, great. That was a great present.
right.
I mean, we lost that game, but just being a part of the fanfare and just growing around, like being around the HBCU, man, but just going to the game, man, and spending time with people and seeing people that you haven't seen before or haven't seen in years, whether they're Jackson State, Southern, it's a big thing, man. And also, I went to like 2 years ago the when they had their Battle of the Bands, and that was about an hour. I was just, man, because like Southern had like a brassy type
Right.
sound,
Of course.
and Jackson State had like a jazzy type sound. So I was like, okay, and just listening to the bands just go back and forth, bro. I was like, I can listen to this all night,
Literally. Um,
like
bro.
man. But it's just being around just people that look like you, man, and being a part of our culture. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
That's the memories that I've I I watched, man. Watching like quarterbacks like Dre Joseph, Austin Howard, Brian Lee, like just growing up just around Southern University, Jackson State. It's a big thing, bro.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a big thing, bro. I definitely feel that, bro. And I think that I've actually never been to the vet before. I've never been to Jackson's. I know that it's not on their campus. They have to actually go
They do,
somewhere
and
if
that
it's not
sucks.
on their campus. So it's big though. I've heard the vet seats like what
60,000.
60,000. I was gonna say like 55, so ballpark 55, 60,000. So it's huge, and they, you know what I'm saying, they be filling up, bro. Jackson
Oh yeah,
Jackson has a very, very loyal fan
long
base.
fan
So much
base. Oh yeah,
so I think that whenever we play them next week, it's
it's
bro,
packed.
Mumford is gonna be packed to
It's
capacity.
packed,
Like I
man.
would not be surprised if we're sold out for that game. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be wearing my either. No, it's gonna be hot outside. But
Yeah.
I'll either be wearing my alumni shirt or shall wear that for homecoming. But either way, I'll be in my Southern University colors that day, man. You know,
Gotta rep the Jazz.
they everybody's gonna be talking smack in the stands. The old heads gonna be talking smack too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a vibe, man. And a lot of times during those games, like just rivalry games or homecoming, or just when Jackson State comes to town, it's like a family reunion
Yeah.
because like everybody and their grandmother is gonna be out there, and that's the beautiful thing about it, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an awesome feeling just seeing that, you know.
Yeah. It's gonna be
But
a good time, bro. It's gonna be a good time, bro, for sure.
yeah, but man, we talk about the Saints, man, right?
Yeah. Transition over to a little NFL talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
man.
just a little bit,
It's
just
a
sprinkle in
snippet,
a
guys. It's a snippet. It's a snippet.
little
It's still
sprinkling.
Southern. It's still Jaguars for
Still
life,
Jags all day for real, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
just
yeah,
sprinkle
yeah,
in a little love for the Nola boys. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But yeah, man. I we seen some production with Spencer Rattler, man.
Hmm.
Even during this second game, you know, we seen some production from him. You know,
Hmm.
um, not the outcome that we wanted, but he's
Right.
shown some production, and but I feel like he just needs that push to really go where he needs to be.
Right. Yeah, nah, Spencer's definitely been one of the bright spots of the team. And I think that the team as a whole is playing a lot better
And
than
last
what
season,
a lot of people and than last season, but a lot better than what a lot of people thought. So
yep.
with Spence in particular, obviously, this past Sunday they suffered a defeat against the Brock Purdy and George Kittle less San Francisco 49ers. They lost 26-21. Mac Jones, bro, and that's part of the issue too, bro. The defense had Mac Jones out there looking like Aaron Rodgers for real, bro.
Why?
It
Mac
was,
Jones is not fast.
bro. Mac Jones is not fast, and he is not that good, bro. Like
No, he's not.
Mac Jones he's an NFL quarterback for sure, but they had him out there looking like prime Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers, like you know what I'm saying. So, but just talking about Spencer, bro. He went 25 for 34, 207 yards, 6.1 yards a throw, three
Mm.
touchdowns, and zero interceptions. That is a pretty freaking good ratio. And he also added four carries for 14 yards. Obviously,
Mm.
Alvin Kamara very much so increased his workload from the first week, and that was one thing that they had to address, and Kellen Moore did address was Alvin Kamara getting more touches. So he got 21 rushes for just under 100 yards, 99 yards, 4.7 yards a carry. Kendra Miller added 5 carries for 8 yards. Chris
Mm.
Olave 6 catches for 54 yards, 9 yards a catch. Rashid Shaheed four catches for 52 yards, 13 yards a catch with one touchdown in there. Juwan Johnson, who I think he's been heavily scrutinized, especially for dropping that ball the first week against Arizona. I think he has been, dude, I think he's been phenomenal. I think he's been one of Spencer's real go-to guys. I think he just he has a little bit of a drop problem, a little
Mm.
bit, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's as bad as people blow it out of proportion to make it seem like he just drops everything,
Mm.
especially because he had a really nice like shoulder faded pylon end zone ball that he caught for a touchdown last week against the 49ers. He had beautiful ball by Rattler, and he put it right where only Jawan could get it. He turns his shoulder, catches it right by the pylon and scored for like a 18-yard touchdown. That was really
Mm.
nice. So I think he's been one of the bright spots. And then obviously, everybody else kind of files in.
Mm.
Brandon Cooks, 2 catches, 26 yards. Alvin Kamara, 6 catches, 21 yards. Devon Vele, 1 catch, 3 yards, and he had a touchdown. So, but and then as far as turnovers goes, I think that Alvin had a very unfortunate turnover so Spencer threw, I think it was like a little arrow route, and Spencer threw it behind him. So Alvin kind of had to catch it and pin it against his back. But it
Mhm,
just so happened that two defenders were right up on him.
mhm,
So he catches it and he pins it, and the defenders knock it loose for a fumble. Fred Warner, if I'm not mistaken, knocked it loose for a fumble. And
mhm.
at first, I was like, "Oh man, that's not a catch. That's just going to be an incomplete pass." But he actually did take the two steps that were required, and he made a football move up the field. So fair enough, it was a fumble. And like I said, the defense just has not been just as a whole has not been getting it done. There's definitely been bright spots like, Demario Davis, Carl Granderson, who, fun fact, he leads the league in sacks right now. So after 2 weeks, so that's pretty cool. Alante, I think Alante and Kool-Aid have been they've been trying to find their footing, especially with Marshawn not being, what I'm saying, the CB1 anymore. I know Kool-Aid had his hands full week 1 against Marvin Harrison, and I ain't gonna lie, that boy got cooked. He got cooked pretty bad. So that didn't go too well. But Ryan Brzee got to step it up. Cam Jordan, up and down. He had a really good week 1, week 2, not so much.
Mhm.
So Isaac Yanum has been god awful. Cannot cover a traffic cone right now. So
They need some
hopefully,
players, man. They
yeah.
need, but because I don't mean to cut you off, bro. But they need like people like Brian Brzee. Brian Brzee is good. Cam
Talent.
Cam is like 100 years old. He can't do it. He can't really do it that much anymore, man. You know.
Yeah,
So he needs the help, man, from the defense. You know,
yeah,
because the defense we got talent. We got Kool Aid McKinstry from Alabama.
yeah.
You know, so it's just
Alante Taylor, Tennessee boy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So it's just we gotta there's got to be cohesion on defense. Cam can't be doing everything. Cam is old. Cam about to retire probably this year. So
Yeah, it would not surprise me if Cam retires in the
and then the Mario Davis, he about 35 too. He's not, you know,
right.
so he doesn't have that much time left in his career either.
Yeah, bro. I'm just looking up stats to kind of further prove my point with Spencer Rattler, bro. His total yards, let me see here. Spencer's been balling. He's been doing everything that
That was
was
asking.
asked of him. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, you coming in, it is. You're not gonna be very competitive this year, but he's came in and he's silenced the critics, and in terms of like just people saying that, oh, Tyler should have started, and what I'm saying, them being the last quarterback battle that went all the way through camp, all the way through preseason.
They
Huh?
made the right decision.
Yeah, they made the correct decision for sure, bro.
Trevor would have struggled.
Tyler would have struggled. Spencer's had his little growing pains as well, but nah, bro. I'm just looking at more passing yards. You know what I'm saying? He's passing right now. He's passing for more yards than guys like Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud,
Mhm.
Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Cam
Mhm.
Ward, Justin Fields.
Mhm.
He's outpassing Jalen Hurts right now, and Jalen Hurts is that man too. So the fact that
Yeah.
he's outpassing him in terms of yards and in terms of completion percentage as well is it's really just a testament to how Spencer has been he's been able to handle the pressure this year, and he's
Well,
definitely
yeah.
uh
Because even you even look at Jalen Hurts, man. You know he's the general of the team. Excuse me. Like he doesn't have to do much. You know, I
yeah.
mean, the only thing he needs to do is do his job, and that's really much it. You know, he has the defense that is excellent. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like, man, if he does his job, then everybody's happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're preparing for Jackson State Hate Week, man.
I've
Um,
never been like an actual like obviously I was here last year, but I don't think I ever participated in quote unquote hate week with the with the memes. So I'm excited to get involved with it this year.
Yeah,
We had
man.
a conversation with student media today about that, so I'm excited.
But yeah, guys, this is episode. What is this? Episode 4?
3.
Episode 3. I'm sorry.
Man,
Yeah.
come on, bro. We got to get it together, bro.
Yeah. This is episode 3 of the Bayou Boys podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're gonna get a logo. You know, in
Yeah.
the future. We're gonna get a logo in the future.
Work in progress.
Work in progress, guys. Work in progress. But I'm your host, Chris Williams,
Brian Fowler.
and Luke 137 says, "Faith does not make things easy, but makes things possible." So if you have faith, the Lord's gonna work it out regardless of the problem or situation. We're the Bayou Boys. God bless. Love you guys. Peace.
Peace.